I love Bob because he comes from the investment background, great credentials. He's got an economics degree from Yale and an MBA from Harvard, and was a fund manager, ran the Hong Kong division in Japan for over 25 years, #1 fund, and he's still mentoring and teaching people in a fund in Hawaii and still meddling in the investment field. But he's not only teaching investments and doing a nonprofit over there, teaching other kids in Hawaii how to do investment funds and passing on his leadership skills like I'm passing on my 26 years of business experience. And I like to call Bob Sensei K, because he's always teaching people, and he's got a big heart, and he loves to share his knowledge like all of us here at Nuskin. And I'd like to bring him up and have him tell you his story and why he's doing Nuskin. So thanks, Bob.
Wow. Always a hard building to live up to. Thanks for coming tonight. I'm going to do, let's see, 3 things. I'll tell you why, because a lot of people wonder, why does a Yale undergraduate and a Harvard Business School graduate and a decorated fund manager do Nuskin? So we'll talk about that. I'm going to show you a very short presentation about what we do, which is actually, I'm going to credit the person that I saw it first from. There's nothing new under the sun. In all of your life, learn from everything, read books, imitate people, steal the DNA from everywhere and weave it with your own to make your own unique story in whatever it is. That I'm going to credit Casey Counsel, and I'm going to show you a very simple way to present this. I actually have a YouTube video of it. If you give me your cell phone number afterwards, I can send that to you. And it's a much better video because I'm on my lanai in Hawaii, and you can see the Pacific. Okay, it's a little bit, you know, I love the Bay Area, but this is an office. I think you'd rather see the Pacific Ocean on the video, right? So, and then I'll go through a kind of a real Harvard MBA analysis of our industry. It's going to show you the pros and the cons. Now there are going to be a few numbers. I'm a numbers person, and so you know, there's not going to be any hype to it at all. And hopefully, you know, it'll help you make up your mind about this business. So, or you know, and the product. So first of all, my story, very briefly. I came for the immunity. I signed on for the annuity, and I've stayed for the community. So what does that mean? So 23 years ago, I was in Hong Kong, and I was sick as a dog. Who here has ever been to Hong Kong? Never go to Hong Kong between November and February. Why? Is that winter or summer in Hong Kong?
Winter.
Winter, and that's cold and flu season. Where do all the colds and flus come from in the world? Southern China. Avian flu, swine flu, SARS. Hong Kong flu in 1967 killed 3 million people. World War I or Spanish flu killed 18 million people, more than the total combatants in the World War died from the flu those two winters. They stacked the bodies like cordwood in Boston. And in fact, they've traced the pathogen to China. And every year when you get a flu shot, the Center for Disease Control is taking the previous 4 years of strains and trying to blend them and give you a cocktail. And last year, I think it was only 23% effective. Don't go to Hong Kong. I was sick as a dog. I went into the stores, what I'd call, I'll show you later, it's called multi-level markup. I went in the stores to buy vitamins, as the Brits call them. And I looked at it, it's 100 milligrams of vitamin C, and it's costing me like $60 for a bottle of vitamin. Overpriced nonsense. And a friend introduced us right about the time he was good. Timing, like everything in life, is important. And it was only 4 capsules then. It's now what we have, the orange box called Life Back Anti-Aging. I saw this immediately. I traveled all over the region looking for investment opportunities. I couldn't put 40 bottles in my suitcase. This is Asia. You show up in Singapore and they think you're a drug smuggler and you're going to be executed. So I had to have something that was much more portable, and this was fantastic. We invented this packaging, by the way. You know, 23 years ago we invented a little cellophane wrapper around capsules. Now you see it in every 7-Eleven around, you know, whatever, it's usually energy or male enhancement pills, right? So, fast forward about 2 years, I got married. My wife had something, when we got married, something called a fibroid tumor. It's in her uterus, and it grows. If you haven't had a child by your mid-30s, there's a good chance you'll get it. It grows, it's non-malignant, but it was big enough that she was going to have to get a hysterectomy. total cutting out of her uterus. We went to Uryu Sensei, who was recommended to us by friends who would take cancer patients sent home to die by the hospital, and with diet and nutritionals would cure them. Not all of them, but a significant number. And he prescribed eye of newt, tail of dog, and all these weird Chinese things in 2 little green bottles, Reishi Max and Tea Green. And I saw Pharmanex, that's the same brand I use. It says it's very good. Reishi is a traditional Chinese medicine, one of the 2 that are in our product line that are the most respected in traditional Chinese medicine. And maybe your friend, that was one of the ones that she went on for gastric problems. It's an immune regulator. Down regulates an overactive immune system like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. Up regulates a weak one, and very popular in China for cancer. The green tea said it's pharmaceutical grade green tea. Go to pubmed.gov. The internet was just starting then. And he said, look, and you'll see it's used in cancer research. And sure enough, I was pretty impressed. We went back for the hysterectomy a week before, the ultrasound. The OBGYN was flabbergasted. She'd never seen this. The growth had shrunk by 1/3. And we were able to save her uterus, and we have a 23 and a 21-year-old son as a result. Thank you, Uryu Sensei, and thank you, Pharmanex. 5 years later, brain tumor. So my wife has had a couple of little health scares. Non-malignant, called a schwannoma. And it was wrapping around her optic nerve, and a 50-50 chance the operation should lose her eyesight. We went back to Uryu Sensei, different eye of newt, different tail of dog, but the same 2 green bottles of Reishi Max and Tea Green. I got interested. We started to use the product. My wife, who had worked for Christian Dior, looked at the skincare and said, we don't put this kind of quality of ingredients in Christian Dior. She switched immediately. So fast forward, we were consumers, and 88% of our membership are basically consumers. And what changed for me was something called the global financial crisis. Anyone remember that? 2008, my little fund management business in Hong Kong, I left the big T. Rowe Price and AIG and had my own company. And I did okay through the crash of stocks, but my clients were wiped out and they were redeeming. And when all your assets flow away and you've got overhead in a traditional business, you lose money. I was losing between family, mortgage, and my business $50,000 US a month. And that was not sustainable. I needed to find another business, and no one on Wall Street was hiring, and banking was hiring, and everyone was being fired. And I didn't have a lot of capital, it was all flowing out. I needed a business with no capital, and I don't like employees, really, and I don't like inventory and paperwork and regulations. Does anyone love that sort of stuff? I needed a business. I'd seen friends of mine I'd introduced to this. I wasn't into the business side, but I'd seen friends punch out of finance 6 to 24 months later and basically make the same kind of living that we did with a lot less stress. So I built first in Asia and then moved to the US. I worked with healthcare professionals and an increasing number of motivated individuals which are joining me. And that's the fun part, the community of it. That friends of mine who 10 years ago poo-pooed this and called me Amway Bob or derogatory things. Are you still working for Foreskin? They would say things like that. It was just nothing but crap I get from friends. Now they're starting to see it because time is on our side in this business. We're all getting older, agreed? Mm-hmm. And some of us are looking at what's happening in the new economy, the new normal as it's called, and looking for a kinder, gentler, and better way to make money and be free in your life. So we'll talk about that in a minute, is the various freedoms and how to achieve them. I'm going to first talk and try and summarize in 5 minutes our business. So, as you know, I work with a global brand called AgeLock. What is AgeLock? AgeLock is profound and safe science that turns your gene expression younger. Whether it's internal or external, we have the same genes we had when we were 9 or 19. Why do we not look 9 or 19 anymore? Because the layer of genetic material on top affects the expression of genes. Everything we eat, drink, smoke, yoga, meditate, love, are loved affects genetic expression. And a lot of research is going on in that. We are the leader in consumer products developed with gene expression. These devices are actually to deliver the age lock more effectively, or to measure the effect. So 9 years ago, we developed the galvanic and now called the facial spa in America. 2 pen-like batteries, no moving parts. It should work basically a lifetime. And it delivers an electric current, very, very light. You go and feel it, and just the electric current itself stimulates the skin, the muscles, and the skin itself. And you can put tap water on this and it would improve your skin. But married to the age lock ingredients, what this does is it increases the absorption of anything you put on your skin by 70%. And for age lock ingredients, which are tuned to this, the absorption is much higher. Skin care takes time, right? Your skin's a barrier. The whole point of skin is to keep stuff out, right? And it can take a month before it does. But this, the effects are instantaneous. You'll see the results in 5 minutes. You'll lose maybe 8 years of parent age on your face. And it's not temporary, it's permanent. And then it's cumulative with repeated use. So effective. Sorry, there's other attachments. For instance, we have a biotech product called Nutriol that restores hair. Not in everyone, but a lot more effective than the prescriptions on the market. And you use this in conjunction with that, and it's amazing. So effective, the FDA took this off the market for 2 years, and it has now been cleared as a low-grade medical device. That means it does what it says. Now this head is a little bit small, and so we found that people who were using it on their body complained about that, and so we developed the Body Spa. And the head is larger. Now the current is a little bit different in this one. It's a pulsating current which creates waves in your lymphatic system. There's two circulatory systems in the body: our blood, which has the heart to pump it, and the lymph, which takes toxins and bile out of the body. Now as we that system, basically the pump is movement, and as we get older we move less, right? So what this does is, with a little electric current, creates waves and a lymphatic drainage. So you put it under the bat wings, we call these kimono wings in Hawaii, and you just do it twice a week for about 5 minutes on each one. And the first time you'll lose ½ an inch of these little wah-wah-wah things, or cellulite. My wife uses 2 of them while she watches Sunday sports under her butt. Women always think they have too big a butt. I disagree. And what happens is I get paid while people use these gels twice a week, and these gels twice a week. I'm paid, 9 years later after this, and 5 years later. So effective that the FDA has taken this off the market to evaluate it as a low-grade medical device. This technology actually predates these. It's called the biophotonic scanner. Dr. Oz had it on his show 3 years ago. He approached us. We didn't approach him. He didn't promote us by name or our products. What it does is, now the latest version, in 30 seconds it'll measure your level of antioxidants, which is your resistance to free radicals, which are implicated in all kinds of degenerative diseases. It's basically measuring your resistance to aging. And we have the only solutions in the pharmacological physician's desk reference that are guaranteed to improve your score on this important biomarker. There are 12 of our products in the PDR. To my knowledge, there isn't another nutraceutical or supplement company in the pharmacological PDR. We just launched a successor to this, which is an age-locked version of it. And what this is 36 years of research by our biotech company that we bought about 4 years ago, and 6 years of active product development, scouring what are called the blue zones of the world. What are blue zones? Places where people live young a long time, like Okinawa, Japan, Sicily, France, Scandinavia, Peru. How many people here have daily Peruvian blue corn? You do? Awesome.
Peruvian.
There you go. And the drink, what's the name of the drink? Chimichurri? There we go. And they drink that daily. Now, how many people do that? Now, we're able to pull together these ingredients and have measured what they do at a gene expression level to figure out why they're creating healthy longevity, and put them together into 2 capsules twice a day. In the clinical trials, which we've been doing at independent research universities for 2 years, the subjects look, feel, and test up to 10 years younger in just 1 to 3 months. Everyone you know and love should at least trial this. The delivery mechanism, the capsules themselves, are completely unique. There's only one supplier of this in the world, and we get all of their production. And again, as people keep taking these on a daily basis, twice a day, I get paid as I introduce people to this over time. This is the next generation of ageLOC, and I ask people, when Keurig Coffee introduced the Keurig coffee maker, or for international Nespresso, and those little cups, did anyone give you a call from Keurig and say, "Hi, I'd like to pay you when everyone in your neighborhood reorders the K-cups"? Did anyone get that call? No, you didn't? When Hewlett-Packard introduced the inkjet printer with those little cartridges, did they call you and say, when the offices in your neighborhood, when they reorder these ink cartridges, did you get a call from them saying, "I didn't get that call either"? This is that call, ladies and gentlemen. So what is this? It's the Keurig coffee maker of your face, the Hewlett-Packard printer for your skin. What you do is you'll answer 20 questions or so on an app or a computer about who you are, your skin. It knows your latitude and longitude by the GPS, so the humidity and temperature at this time of the year. And tailors just for you over 2,000 variations, a skincare regimen just for you. Hence it's called ageLOC Me. And it'll beep at you. You first wash your face with ageLOC Cleanse and Tone, then you put your hand underneath, squirts the serum, then you put your hand in again, a day or a night serum. The magic is here.
Is this on launch yet?
So what does this remind you of? This little cartridge. What is the cartridge able to do? When you put your finger into a moisturizer, what are you putting into that cream, other than your finger? Bacteria. You're contaminating it. So do they have to put preservatives? You betcha. There's no need for that. These are hermetically vacuum sealed. That also means that there are ingredients that can go in here that cannot survive in exposure to the air. We have tested every single ingredient in every commercial and organic skincare ever in history. All right? With ageLOC science, believe me, if some competitor has it, or some plant has it, or some shaman somewhere has a skincare ingredient, or a nutritional ingredient, we've tested it, every single one. There's nothing under the sun that we haven't tested with ageLOC science. We put only the ones that work, and some that nobody else has because of this delivery technology. And if you look, these 3 serums are separate. So they're ingredients that actually cannot coexist with each other that we're able to put. And it prints with 3D printing technology, 40 microlayers. Nobody else has this. So I have to ask you, and these cartridges will be reordered automatically every single month. And when the seasons change, you'll get an email saying we're changing your formulation. Do you agree? And so I'll get paid every time that people reorder this. So I ask you, who do you know who's interested in helping us build a distribution channel to the bathroom counters of the US and the world? And who do you know who's interested in any part of all of this? Okay? That's it. That was about 7 minutes, I think. Yep. So you want to have something that's, do people have an attention span past 7 minutes? That was already too long, I apologize, right?